Two new videos surfaced today in the shooting death of a young man New Year's Day at an East Bay BART station by a BART police officer.
Freddy Villanueva, le mystère plane toujours sur les circonstances de cette affaire. Le jeune homme de 18 ans a été atteint de 4 balles tirées par un policier.
Martin, remember, was on the way back to his dad's fiance's condo to watch the NBA All-Star game. He wasn't armed. He was carrying a bag of Skittles and an iced tea. He was wearing jeans, white tennis sneakers, and a hoodie.
This ain't a story, it's a story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change, justice, nickel and dime. I reminisce about the days that we played unafraid. Chased gin, silent sound, we were for the hard way. Broadway ready, all we needed was some light to expose those who don't know our perilous plight. You see, Sammy the selector was ill in the track. He was cutting like a Ginsu, then playing it back. Not a hater in sight, skills brought the man respect. I can't even conceive of more beloved selector. What's next, I suppose, is where the tale gets tragic. See, Sam was a young black man, which always brings static. Cops were feeding into the meaning, smacking down like they was addicts. Hit him with a few shots, a boy finally had it. Emphatically searched for answers like a struggling student. We should have been prudent, but we never knew this. State sealed the fate of those who try to dictate a path that will last for those who strive to create. Now a crew is left in shambles to pick up the pieces, and I could write a thesis for scholars to read this. But I'm told to turn my cheek and walk away like it's fine. But I'm still compelled to speak because the story is mine. And I'm told to turn my cheek and walk away like it's fine. But I'm still compelled to speak because the story is mine. This ain't a story, it's a story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change, justice, nickel and dime. And this ain't a story, it's a story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change and justice, nickel and dime.
All the losses we lament start to feel less relevant, and we fight to keep our strength as we lose our innocence. All the losses we lament start to feel less relevant, and we fight to keep our strength as we lose our innocence.
Let's take it back to the old school, back to the days when rappers told a story that had something to say. The street was the stage for the voices of truth, and the power of the word was the passion of the youth. Testimonials about the daily struggles became the only thing to keep the ghetto kids out of trouble. Adopted by the masses, the culture quickly spread, but the lost elements of real hip-hop are almost dead. This form of social media left many inspired to find their own identity and fulfill their desires. Lamenting on the pain, overcoming the loss, finding social justice no matter the cost. Talking about what's relevant is a lost element. The messages were sent or portrayed the way they're meant. And it's time for me to vent, to release my inner strength. And that's the difference that we make when we protest at any length.
This ain't a story, it's a story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change and justice, nickel and dime. And this ain't a story, it's a story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change and justice, nickel and dime.
All the losses we lament start to feel less relevant, and we fight to keep our strength as we lose our innocence. All the losses we lament start to feel less relevant, and we fight to keep our strength as we lose our innocence.
I'm a young police officer, more like a cartographer, mapping out different paths in my life.
Frequently I met with confrontation, impatient youth think I root for them to lose a tooth or worse.
The curse of perception afflicts those on both sides of the law. Motives excluded by deluded men of straw. Man.
No one is born a cop, despite the outcry of enraged voices. But when seeking justice,
a man is left with few choices. The voiceless son of an immigrant trying to slay the perception of the media who show just one perspective.
Maybe help them feel that some brown faces face themselves behind the blue shield, not for the power that it yields, but because they really feel for the people.
I'm just a soul whose intentions are good, and oh Lord, please stop me from being misunderstood.
I didn't see your boy get shot, but I can tell you that I felt it, and deep within my soul when he died, I knelt
and prayed for the day we could look out for one another, and that this would be the last call I'd have to make to a grieving mother.
This ain't a story, it's a story story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change and justice, nickel and dime. And this ain't my story, it's a story of many. This ain't a poor story, it's a story of plenty. This is our story, though you thought it was mine. A story about change and justice, nickel and dime.
Okay, so here's the deal. For all you out there studying hip-hop, this is what is so important about hip-hop. Number one, hip-hop is a human skill. This is the first thing you need to know when dealing with hip-hop. No technology needed.